Hi there, I'm Katie, and this is Katie Reads On. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome. I am new to booktube. I am new to the world of Sarah J. Maas, and I've been reading the Throne of Glass series for the last couple of months, and she has just pushed me over the edge into becoming a booktuber because I have so much that I want to discuss about this series, but right now I'm still in the middle of it. I am about to start the tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. If you're new to Throne of Glass like I am, you might not know, but some people read these two books together because they happen on the same timeline, but they follow different sets of characters in different parts of this world. And Sarah J. Maas did not intend for readers to read them in tandem. In fact, she wrote them with Empire of Storms to come first and Tower of Dawn to come second. And you can absolutely read these in publication order and still enjoy them from what I have found out from other readers. But it's not very often that you get a chance to tandem read books in a series like this, so I thought I would try it, but I have been really worried about spoilers because I love this series so far. I'm not trying to just rush through it. I really want to go on a journey with these characters and with this story, and part of that is experiencing what this tandem read is going to be like. So there's two things that I've done to make sure that I can remain spoiler-free before I start this tandem read and throughout it also. So the first thing is you've got to pick the right tandem reading guide. I didn't want to Google and risk seeing some things that I shouldn't. So I started out by asking ChatGPT to suggest to me a reading guide that would keep me spoiler free. And the one I ended up going with is T.L. Branson's Tandem Read Guide. It lists only chapters. There are no spoilers listed within the guide itself. And so that made me feel better. I want to make sure that when I'm switching from book to book, I also stay on track with the recommended tandem read because I know I'm going to be curious about what happens next in each story and want to read further into it, but I'm going to make myself stick with the tandem read guide because I trust the readers out there who say this is a good one. The second thing that I did to keep myself spoiler free is I'm not tabbing my books. And most people who do the tandem read and who I've talked to about it have said, yeah, you should tab your books so that you know when to switch back and forth from one to the other, which makes sense, but I don't trust myself. If I flip through these books and I'm looking at the pages to put in tabs, I'm so afraid that my eyeballs are going to see something I don't want to see yet. And end up with even a minor spoiler. I really want to preserve this reading journey for myself, so I'm not tabbing. What I did instead was I made these really basic, simple tandem read guide bookmarks, one to put in each book. And so they have the T.L. Branson reading order, and it goes to the back as well. And these are super simple. I'm just going to keep one in each book. Obviously, you could make these yourself and make them much fancier. You could punch a hole and put ribbon in if you want to. My cats would eat it, so I'm not going to do that. But you could, use a corner rounder to make these cuter. There's a ton of things that you could do. But I'm just going to keep these in the books. I tried to match them a little bit with the stationery that I had. So Tower of Dawn, I think, turned out pretty cute. Empire of Storms, I didn't have anything like that was a very close match to this particular color scheme, but I've been dying to use this time stationery that I had, so I figured this was as good of a time as any. So that is how I am going to keep myself on track through the tandem reads, and I don't know if anybody else has done this. There's probably people out there making way cuter stuff than this, but this is meant to be functional. It's got checklists, so I'm actually going to check off as I get through each chapter in the books and hoping for a really good reading experience this way. If you have done the tandem read, I'm curious to know what you think. Don't leave me any spoilers. If you're thinking about doing the tandem read and you're not sure, let's talk it through in the comments, everybody, because it took me a long time to figure out if I wanted to do this or not. I'm usually kind of a purist as far as publication order goes, but this feels like an exciting opportunity. And I imagine I'll be doing more Throne of Glass videos as time goes on and as I make my way through these two books and through the final book in the series too. So if you want to talk more Throne of Glass, if you're interested in books and in reading, I hope that you'll consider subscribing and coming back for next time. See you then, and happy reading!